Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we can add any enterprise SaaS based application in the app launcher or my apps portal, right? So this is going to be accessible and usable for end users, right? And you might have seen, or maybe you are already aware about this one, whether how this can be done and how we can achieve it, right? So to do that, there is a way from Entra ID side that is directly be by creating app launcher policy or the configure it correctly, and then same application is going to be visible to end users, right? So there are certain criterias which needs to be met when we are going to make that application available for end users, right? And even if you don't put that and into the or under the app launcher, but still the application would also be visible at certain areas or certain range, right? So that is the configuration that we need to make. So that is what I'm going to show you how we can do that. And even if we don't do that, then there is another way which is going to be app launcher. So there are two ways possibly. The first way is using the application onboarding method where application is successfully onboarded and then we have to set that application to visible to everyone or the users across the organization, right? And the second method is to create an app launcher configuration, right? And from there you need to provide a respective application, and then similarly the same application would also be available for the users, right? So let's jump onto the screen and I'll show you how we can do that, right? And how that can be used for end users as well, right? So that's very important to know and provide the application level access to the end users, and people can simply get the access whatever they need. And it also includes all types of different applications, right? Which is going to be including uh, which can be part of our application onboarding for the users, right? Now, there might be different questions or different scenarios when if we are making that application available to those respective users, right? Because this is going to be either respective application, and then the people who have access to that application based on the different groups or different assignments. So all those people would have access to it, right? And if we are making the same method applicable using the application or app launcher, right? And assigning the same way to a specific group, be it a software developer team or be it a QA team or be it any DevOps or cloud infra team, right? So something like that, we would be able to do that, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'll just simply show you there are two different ways. So I'll show you both, and then you can also decide whichever is going to be quick, easy, and helpful for the organization as well as users to use it, right? All right, so let me share my screen and jump on it. All right. All right, so I think this video is okay. All right, so you can see that I'm on Entra portal here, and on Entra, we can simply, I'll just go on homepage, right? And here's the one of the application I was on before. So I'll just copy this application name and go back and I'll show you from the beginning, right? So the first method, which is something we wanted to show that application to the end users, my application portal, right? So let's say this one. Now you can see that myapplications.microsoft.com page, this has a single application which was added before, right? Why this application is showing up here, I'll show you that as well, and how similarly different applications can also be added on the same application or same application launcher URL, right? Now consider this as an application store for end users to go back and go ahead and see all those applications. Similarly, the same application would also show up under the all apps or these three ellipses on the Office 365 portal. If I have to go ahead and click on more applications, and it's going to simply redirect me to the different page altogether where I would see all different applications, right? So I'll show you the same application over there as well under the applications, right? So let me scroll it down a bit and go down here. Okay, let me find it. Okay, so here we should have that application. Okay, so here you can see this application was added. This is one of those similar application and this one. So these are the four different applications which I had added under the application launcher section. I'll show you those as well. And you can see that there is an option called as SaaS apps. So I have added this as well under the another application launcher section, right? So upon adding this one, user can simply open it in new, or as soon as they click it, it's going to ask them or redirect them to re-login or to the login that respective application on the web. Now, it is not successfully set up. That is why it is not logging in, but this is how it is going to be working as expected. If we have set up it appropriately with the single sign-on and everything together, then it's going to work. So the basic needs are that applications should be added to the Entra successfully. Along with it should also be assigned to the respective group of users or people who needs to access and use it. And then that application should be either put into application launcher configurations, or that application should be made available for users to use and see in the application launcher portal over here, right? And at the same time, and the very important part of this is going to be applications should be configured with a single sign-on, right? So that's the requirement for these kind of applications or third party SaaS based application, right? So this is one of them, and these other are also those third party SaaS applications. And even you can see there are other applications as well which I had added before. And under the other apps, you can see these are the applications which were added, right? So this way we would be able to add. But now these are the applications which are majorly added using this launcher, right? But over here, you can see only single application, right? And I, as an end user, if I have to go ahead and add any of those applications, either I can add a new site or request an app, right? So now you can see there's one of the applications I can simply add, and it is asking me to provide a justification. So I'll just need access to this workload. So this can be a request which is going to be flown through the owners of that applications, and owner has to go ahead and visit, and they would simply be granting upon their verification or upon their requests, right? So now let's jump on to the Entra ID, and I'll show you what comes when it is added in application dashboard, or what is the configuration that is needed where the application should be visible under the application dashboard over here, right? So let's go back to Entra and enterprise applications and find this application. So right, so this is the application I'm targeting for this video now. And over here, we need to simply go to properties, and from there, we need to make that change, right? So I'll just scroll it down and I'll show you what options it is where it is set to visible to users under application dashboard, right? So this is the application or the option which is set to yes for users, which is visible to users. That means this is going to show this application to users under the app's dashboard, basically, right? Now, in this case, we did not create any app launcher configuration or policy at all. And this is a pretty straightforward and direct visibility of that application under that application itself, right? If we are not following the same method or same requirement for any of those applications, it's also good practice to go ahead and create app launcher for all the different applications and bundle all those applications together in one app launcher, and then those applications will be visible, but all those applications will not be visible over here. Instead, all those applications will be visible over here. So you need to understand both scenarios. The first is direct visibility from the application side itself, and that falls under the application dashboard under my apps URL or my app section, and it is going to show all those apps over there, right? And the second is going to be application launcher, right? So under application launcher, we would simply create a package and put all those different applications together, and then different applications will show up over here under that respective package. For example, this one, I have created this before and it has the same application over here as well. So we can see that the same application is visible at two different locations for users to go ahead and use it, right? Now, there might be something or there might be questions or why we should use or put the same application on two different places, right? Definitely, it might be confusing for users, and users might not be aware whether it is the same application or it's a different one, or whether I should have access or am I able to access it, right? So all those things are there, but still, when we make any of these changes, we should either go with apps access or apps dashboard, where we will put all those applications together and let people use it, right? And if not, then this is pretty straightforward way as well, where we can simply create app launcher and put all those applications for users to simply go ahead and use it, right? So this is the one of the way which I showed you to show the application under apps dashboard under my apps URL, right? And this way the application is going to be visible. But here it is something, the application needs to be enterprise SaaS based application added to Entra, and then set up the single sign on, and all those kind of requirements are there, right? Without those requirements, this application is not going to be visible to users at all, and this option or this feature is not going to work at all, right? So this is very important to know and understand that, right? So let's look at the second option which I was talking about. Go to Enter ID, Enterprise Apps, and Apps Launcher. So App Launcher, we can see that there are different collections created, right? So one is with apps, this is the default one, then SaaS apps and global apps, right? So I'll show you the SaaS apps, and under SaaS apps, I have added the Slack, right? Which I showed you over there, right? And there's only one app. So for now, I wanted to add more applications. So I can simply add another applications like this one, 360, and add it. Once it is added and then save it. So this application is saved, right? So as soon as it is saved, it's going to be visible to the end users. Similarly, we can add any specific user to these applications and any users who should have access to these applications. So we can scope it down by adding those users or directly adding that respective group wherever we wanted to target specifically, right? So basis on that, it's going to be providing, and the same application would be visible to those users and they can simply go ahead and access it for their work, right? So this is the filtering on group as well as user level. So we are not making any applications available for everyone and across the organization, right? So this way it's going to be pretty straightforward and easy as well, right? So if I have to create a brand new collection, I would simply go ahead and create one. But before that, I'll show you the settings over here. So under setting, you can see we can also add application directly to over here as well. What it says is, here is the setting which talks about M365 settings, right? And here's the option or checkbox which says users can only see M365 apps in 365 portal, right? And the second option is set up three default applications for your end users so that they can access third-party resources on their first day of work. Now, this is the situation or scenario when people wanted to use or people should use any of those third-party SaaS-based applications apart from Microsoft 365 applications. We can add those three applications over here. For example, if user is onboarded and they should be able to access HR system on their first day because of their onboarding and all other different work that they need to complete, right? And that application can be added over here. For example, Slack, right? This is also one of the very important application where as soon as user is onboarded, they need to communicate with their team and manager and people around them who are going to work with them, right? So all those kind of applications can be added over here and then this can be set up. Now it has a limit of only three applications and we cannot add more than three applications over here. So this is a bit of that setting, but there is more into the collection section over here. So if I have to create a brand new one, I'll just simply uh, create one by giving it a name as web apps and then add any of those web applications or respective applications which we wanted to, let's say this one. I will add this one as well and keep it those two for now. I will not add any owner here. Keep it as is. I'll simply add user. So only those respective users should have access, right? And that is why we can simply add users as well as groups. And at the last, review plus create. So just go ahead and create this one. Perfect. So you can see that I have created this one and you can see the arrows as well. If in case we wanted to change the priority of this one, we can just increase the priority or decrease it as and when needed or as per our requirement, basically. So we can do that as well, right? So upon that, now there is no application added apart from this one. That's why you can see it. But if I have to go here and if I refresh this page, it should show those applications which I added under the web apps, right? Just scroll it down a bit. And wait, one more here. Seems it is just taking a time. It was a 360 online, right? Okay, I think it is not yet added, but it should be added after a sync or it has or that option should show up over here, right? So this way it's going to be be straightforward for users to go ahead and access those applications, right? And they should have access basically. Right, it is not yet. All right, so this way it is going to be available, right? So as I said, under SaaS apps, this application is added under global apps, right? As well as business applications. And these are the other applications. Those are added and assigned through the different methods, right? So this way we should be able to add different applications. And as I said, there are two ways. So and it totally depends on the organization how they wanted to make sure those respective applications are available and used for users, right? So, yep, that is what I wanted to show you and talk about and make sure you utilize any of those capabilities based on the needs and requirements. And definitely it's not specific to a use case, but it also something that each organization has to follow, and they do follow the different practices, right? Whether they wanted to allow all the SaaS-based applications to all users, or they wanted to simply scope it down, or maybe limit it to the respective group of users or teams and projects, something like that. Even that can also be achieved. So yeah, that's all for this video. I wanted to talk, and hope you like it, learn it, something new. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well, so that you get to see every new video whenever it is uploaded. So yep, that's all. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.